Hello and welcome to another brand new Source Wall. We're back again to the beginning. We're going back to the very start. The remake of the Children of Corn franchise. They went 7 movies. Was it seven? It was 7 movies without breaking the streak. And well, it comes for us all. Same old horror story, timeline of things. But they're all here. They're all here. Bert, Vicky, Isaac, Malachi.
All
So
your friends.
all the favorites, all the fan favorites. I'm excited. And this is definitely like Predator can suck a dick because it's the best movie about Vietnam I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Like, oh, Aliens is about Vietnam. No, Children of Corn 2009 is about Vietnam. Okay. It's about that shit. They don't shy away from nothing. Okay. We shouldn't have been in there. We shouldn't have gone in. Okay. I don't care what
the political dissident perspective from the wife. I just always yelling.
I don't care. I don't care what James Cameron says, man. We it was a bad war. We should never gone in. Anyway,
James Cameron thinks otherwise. He was like, it was good.
It was good. Cool.
Avatar is actually about why the Vietnam War was good. Actually.
I don't know. The thing is, right? I don't know what this movie is trying to say. We'll get into it later. But was it pro-war crime or anti-war crime?
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely pro-Vietnam War. That was the strangest aspect about the film. We should crack into it later. But I 100% read.
Yes, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. I mean, we're back. It's the series is political again. Like that they're signifying that by casting a Battlestar Galactica alum. Or I guess this was it already over by the time? This is 2009, so I guess the show was probably like winding down. But yeah, like this is about stuff. They have a Battlestar Galactica person. They should have had Edward James Olmos. Should have been Bert.
Okay. All right. So. Let's get into it. Tony, what's your first thoughts on Children of Corn at 2009, 8 years after 9/11?
Never forget. Corn cobs can't melt steel beams, is what I've heard. But yeah, when it comes to my initial thoughts with this movie, I went into this, not optimistic per se, but I was like, okay, fresh start. It's been 8 years. Let's see what this has got. And I think that there's a lot that this movie gets right, but I still don't think it's a good movie. I think that it's like very funny. I would almost put it in like Urban Harvest territory. But I do think that a few core structural issues hold it back. And there are definitely some strange narrative and writing decisions that they make in terms of dialogue that I can't wait to crack into the specifics because this is one of those movies you can nitpick all day, every day. But when it comes to like, if you wanted to like present somebody with like a better version of what Children of the Corn could be as like a horror movie, I think this is more successful than the first movie.
Yes.
This is a better movie than the first one, and I think that the first one, they have a better Isaac, right? Like you kill in the diner, right? But I think that this one gets the simmering tension a bit better.
Yes.
And I think that like it could have found a way to work if it was written better, if you had better actors. No offense, Battlestar Galactica alum. And if you
how dare you?
She was good about Battlestar Galactica, but they don't give her nothing to work with here. And I blame Stephen King. I blame Stephen King alone. None of
that's very fair.
The cast and crew and writers behind this are innocent.
we definitely will have to have a giant conversation about Stephen King's own complicity in this film as well, even though he had no hand in actually doing it, I believe. But at the same time, a lot of the core issues with this film are from the source. Like if you've watched any terrible Stephen King production, then you are going to recognize the hallmarks that pop up here. That being said, as somebody who's seen a lot of those kinds of movies and gets a lot of ironic enjoyment out of them, I got that same ironic enjoyment out of this film, even if it did have really objectionable, stupid, even gross moments. So it's definitely one of the best of the franchise, but that's not really a high bar in my mind. But I definitely had a lot of fun watching it, and I think I'm going to have a lot more fun talking about it today with you guys.
100%. I completely agree, especially structurally. Like the first half of this movie, dialogue moments aside, we'll get into that, is kind of like great. simple structure, simple filming, simple blocking, but like the momentum of it is like I was invested. I really was. But Doug, what's your first thoughts on this?
Well, they ruined the franchise. They made it woke. They ruined Vicky, the woke casting. No,
this is VII casting.
This isn't even a video game. You can't even play it.
Yeah. This is so close to being the best one. I agree with Tony absolutely. This is like better than the first one. Like, it's lacking in some critical areas. Like, yeah, the Isaac's a little of it all is a little weak. I mean, you still have Malachi like or farming a little bit to compensate, but like it doesn't. Yeah, like if you round out the elements that are weaker, like you could end up with like an actual like good horror movie. It's just that the stuff that doesn't work really doesn't work, but like the stuff that it improves upon, it's like almost like they were listening to our notes on the first movie.
It went back in time.
Like the perspective of like, oh yeah, let's just start with the couple and then play it more as a mystery instead of just playing your whole hand up front. Like that's like way more engaging. And yeah, maybe it's just because the last couple ones were such slogs that like this, I was surprised like how much this one flew by until it then, yeah, like as you start to get to the end, like once you're getting chased through the cornfield, it's like a little I start noticing the time,
the boundaries of this being a short story start to fucking creep up on you.
And it's like, yeah, we said before we started recording, like, you don't have to do 90 minutes, like 60 to 70, perfectly respectful. It's a TV movie too.
Exactly. Like, just pad the shit out with like ads. We're done.
It's Sci-Fi Channel. They're riddled with ads. Like, that's fine. Like, they can do that.
So you're completely correct, and I agree. It does feel like a lot of things that we were complaining about are corrected here, and I think the biggest thing we've all mentioned so far is the structure, because this movie, it really does play out a lot more progressively. Like we're with the couple, and everything is let's head back. Actually, it doesn't start with the couple immediately. We get
Well, before we actually get into the plot, right? Like, I think we should explain why it's like this, right? Because, like, the director of the film, right, is one of the original producers of the first movie. And what ended up happening was that, like, as we've discussed on this podcast, the Children of the Corn franchise garnered this horrible reputation for having, like, so many terrible sequels and all of that.
Oh, my God.
Made it like his life's mission, where he was like, no, I'm going to get Children of the Corn right one of these days. And this was like his passion project. He was like, I'm going to make sure that I can get back to Children of the Corn and I can make this work. And he went so far as to try to get the original screenplay that Stephen King had written for the first go around. And he was unsuccessful because apparently Stephen King just didn't want to have anything to do with the Children of the Corn franchise. But like, I just wanted to say that as a way of, like, contextualizing all this. This is a labor of love, strangely. This is somebody who
you know what,
for setting and was like, no, I could do better.
No, I respect it because like after watching the original, it feels like he went through the same. Reading Wikipedia article for this, it seems like he went through the same like perspective I had. Where like the original, I feel like, oh, this is pretty neat. This is pretty good, and it just kind of comes across as like, oh, he came in hindsight to believe it was too Hollywoodized, not true enough to the original story. And you know what? He was right. It is very saccharine and very wafty, and it didn't hit. And so I respect that he went back to try to work it from first principles, and did it pan out? I don't know. Who can tell?
He gave it back to the fans.
He gave back. This is for the fans. If you don't like it, then you're a critic.
Now is Bert's whole deal in this, is that part of the short story? Because in the original movie he's a doctor, right? Like, but so in this one we get a time adjustment, like we're in this mid 70s, and like there's the whole Vietnam angle, and I was just curious of like why is that part of this?
Oh, here we go. I pulled up the short story, and it says here, word search, as a medical orderly in Vietnam, he had become well versed in that smell. That's the only mention of Vietnam in the entire short story.
That's all you need, baby. It's about war.
It's the secret sauce. That's the thing that was missing. But what I do like about the inclusion of Vietnam in the backstory of this character is not so much that, like, you know, I actually like think this is some touching portrayal of a veteran or any kind of like, you know, any kind of like deeper understanding of the Vietnam conflict. No, what it does is it acts as a perfect like simulacrum of like all things Stephen King, right? Because like if you've seen any Stephen King thing, there's always something like this. There's always like, oh, I was in the Vietnam War, right? Like, and they're haunted by that. Some so basic bullshit, you know, like I'm an alcoholic, you know, like the baseline cliche, like, you know, something that like a lot of men are going to relate to. And that's like the thing with Stephen King stories. And I think that this Vietnam War tying, like making that his identity, in theory really works, but they don't give him anything else.
You know, I'm gonna agree with that. And the thing is, right, I think that I don't want to say incidentally, because I think it was definitely on the forefront. Bringing forward the Vietnam stuff, it kind of feels like maybe if they were trying to have more of an ironic discussion about child soldiers and also the impact of war on children, specifically in Vietnam. But I don't know what they were trying to say with that specifically about calling them fascists.
I think that like the movie is trying to say that he killed kids in Vietnam.
Yes.
And I don't think that they go that far. I think that they pull their punch at the last minute and they're like, we're not going to go there. And I think it would have been a better movie if they went there. I get why they didn't. But at the same time, I feel as though, like you asked that question earlier, right? Is this like pro or not?
Yes.
You know, and I think the key distinction here is that I don't think that the film is ever interrogating what he did in a meaningful way. They're only talking about like, I had to do what I had to do. And you don't know what I had to do when I was there. And then they show him this, like, you know, they show him doing it, and then ultimately his folly is his folly, right? And ultimately, like I don't want to get too much into the ending, but I do think that the way that it ends makes sense for what it's trying to say if it wanted to be a bit critical. But because it doesn't go the full extra steps, I think that it largely leaves a character like his wife, who's meant to be like challenging his perspective, vacant. You know, she's supposed to be the voice of reason in that argument, right? But instead she comes across as like shrewd and, you know, unlikable. And it shouldn't be the case when she's making valid arguments and
the actual
beating her.
Yeah, she's making the actual point, but she's making them like a chud. She acts like a chud. She thinks like a woke, because like I don't know, like he's a war criminal, but she's the one saying all the racist shit. So who do I trust?
Yeah, it's weird to give her that dialogue. I mean, she's like saying it ironically of like, oh, yes, sir. Like, oh, there's, you know.
Say it, Doug. Say it.
I'm not going to say it. It's going to be an enemy slur.
She's saying like all kinds of like old-timey, like, you know, 60, 70-year-old man slang that's offensive.
You don't, this is a period piece. You don't want them to be period accurate. I mean, I respect it.
Well, it's like they do and don't commit to the period, because I feel like they do leave an interesting thing on the table. Like if you want to stretch something out and get like narrative, like feature length, like material, I feel like having an interracial couple in the 70s, like driving through a rural religious community, like there's something there. But the movie is, we're already, Bert and Vicky are on the outs at the beginning, right? It's like the polar opposite of like the original, where they're like so in love and like can't keep their hands off each other. Like this relationship is over by the time we're starting now, which could be an interesting starting point, but we have no like insight into like what that relationship was. So like it's just caustic. It's just them just like yelling at each other the whole time.
And that's
right on the money.
And that's something from the original short story, which I'm wondering, like, I get that you want to be more faithful to the short story, but if you're going to give this movie like 20 extra minutes than it needs, put it toward their relationship. Because at no point do I feel like they are a married couple, or I feel like they would probably kill each other.
Yeah. Is the interracial aspect in the short story?
It's not.
Okay.
I think the big issue is that there's no escalation, right? Like we just start and they're already at each other's throats, and it's so one note for like I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the movie, and it becomes grating, like genuinely, right? And it's like it's exactly like you said, Elvis, right? Like think like a woke, act like a chud, right? Where it's like she absolutely is right to call him out for all the things that she is, but because of the film's framing, we're meant to be like, oh, she's just being like really irrational right now. They're lost, and she's just like, making it worse. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't want to watch it from this framework. I want to watch it like, like I hate to keep on bringing up Larry Fessenden all the time, but like the movie Wendigo, right? Like that movie is about like, from the child's perspective, we're going out to the family cabin, and like you figure out as you're watching it that this relationship between the mother and the father is falling apart, right? And it's gradual, right? You don't know that right away, but you like come to learn that. And they're not at each other's throats all the time, like sometimes it's like, a casual, they're going to have a disagreement over cereal or something, right? And I think that the movie needed a gentler touch in that sense, but instead we get like hit over the head every time, where she's just like throwing it in his face, and you're just going like, hold on, like we can get to this point, but like the way that you got here is so sudden,
It is. And again, like I don't think that them being so in love in the original movie was that interesting, because I think that one of our complaints was that also didn't give him anything to do. But it's two extremes here. And this need a middle ground, because especially if it's going to be, if you want to humanize these characters a little more, maybe you don't, but then you need to kind of get Bert to a level where he is as despicable. They are wretched people, and maybe Isaac is right. Maybe Isaac is right that they're evil, but it feels imbalanced, and it kind of feels, I'm gonna say, it feels a little misogynistic.
Because the movie
100%.
seems like it wants us to side with Bert, because it kind of proves him right in all his assessment.
He was right to gun those.
well, in terms of like he's gauging the danger of the situation immediately, and then like his insistence that they need to like report this killed kid is like, well, you're like, well, yeah, that's correct. Like even morally, it's correct. Like you can't just ignore a dead kid, even though Vicky is also correct of like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. Technically, we're meant to see all of Bert's actions as like logical, just, like he takes the right steps to, assess situations. Again, pointing to why I think that the film is trying to say that like Vietnam War is not necessarily a bad thing, like he did the right thing, and knows the right steps. There's a reason, we did these things. And that's the, effect that keeps on being drilled over and over again. But like, we're talking about the relationship, and I do want to keep talking about it, right? But like we did skip over the cold open.
Yes.
Can we talk a bit about the cold open? Because I have some notes about that.
Well, the cold open, I think, not necessarily really that needed, because again, it does kind of give the hand away a bit. But I do like it, because I think David, like, just have him be immortal, because I think he's a better Isaac than the Isaac we do get.
Better outfit too.
Yeah, it's like an old kind of cowboy.
It's like a Howdy Doody outfit. Yeah,
it's awesome. I love it.
And he's like, I feel what they wanted the kids in like Revelation, or what's his face? What's it? Well, the Fields of Terror to be. Someone a little more magnanimous. And he's got a good personality. He's fun. He's really digging into like this old school revival kind of jargon. And let's see here. I do like that. You can really believe that these kids, the rest of the older kids, are kind of playing into his hand. But what do you want to talk about specifically? Because they do. It's pretty short, but I don't mind it. I like it a lot.
I like it better than the diner sequence in the original film. I think this is a way better way to set up the cult in general. I think this is like the best way to introduce us to the Children of the Corn concept, really, right? And the idea that it's going to be like the thing happened 12 years ago, and now like the people are driving in, rather than like 3 years, but it feels like yesterday, like the first movie, right?
3 years, but no one's gotten any older.
Exactly. And on the note of the kids, right? Like I think in this sequence, I think the casting of the kids is really good.
They're all very they're all very very fucking genuine looking. It's crazy.
And the thing you were saying about the kid preaching, he's got a very like classical pastor thing going
Exactly.
on
Like
with him.
something.
And the actor, despite him being young, he's doing it quite well. It's one of those things where I was like, I would be fine if this was Isaac, right? But
I was a little disappointed that it wasn't.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's from the short story too, because Isaac is the second preacher. He's not the one who originally created the cult. In the short story.
Yeah, they could have just
They should've
streamlined that.
They just streamline it. Come on, just keep it. Yeah, everyone loves this. I love this kid. This is great. I wonder, I wonder if he has a career after this.
I hope so. He's better than fucking original Isaac, the one that returned.
Oh, no blue. No blue on his Wikipedia page. Ooh, let's see here.
I think this is his only credit.
I think so too.
He did, I hope he kept that cowboy outfit, right? Like he left the acting game, but he kept the cowboy.
Here we go. Well, he's a picture of it on IMDb as an older guy, so he's clearly. He played Whitney in Man of Steel. That was his last credit.
Don't you love the classic character Whitney?
Yeah, he's in. I love the version in Smallville. That's much it. Anyway, so moving ahead, you were saying, yeah, he's got like an old soul. He's really into that kind of spiritualistic revival. He's got like he's thumping his hands and his feet. He's great. It feels genuine. It feels like these kids are in his thrall. It feels like a great movement. And what I love about it is that it doesn't overtly say what they're gonna do. Okay, it kind of like, okay, these kids are getting into like this kind of religious revivalism. What's going to happen next? And then we don't know. We don't know just yet.
It's clearly anti-adult, and then you see like the pig. So like it's telling you but without like actually telling you. I feel like it sets the stage enough. So like by the time you get to the jump, like if of course we know what happens because we were like 8 movies deep, but like if this had been our first exposure, I feel like it does give you enough to be like, oh, okay, so like they killed all the adults.
Well,
yes,
they do explicitly say it, right? They say it like the kids talks about how like adults are the poison in his speech. And the thing that is interesting about this sequence is like, think about the first movie, right? Like all of the kids would like gather in like a cornfield or out front of a dirty building, and they just kind of like talk in a circle, right? And that was like the most that we got of any kind of like inner politics setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was very bland. And what we get up front is like a dark barn with torches, and there's like 100 kids. Like before we were joking on previous movies, we're like, oh, the cheaper they get, the less kids they're gonna get. This one, it's like you actually have like a room filled with bodies that are like involved with this paganistic ritual, and it's like, okay, this actually has some kind of mood and dread to it. So
yes,
like I'm more intrigued by the inner workings of this, or these kids actually working as threats rather than people who are squabbling over how the House of Commons is going to work.
Like there's a sense of scale to it, so it actually does feel like oh well, this is like an army of children. So like that does, which then I do see the parallels of like if you do want to make some kind of Vietnam parallel, but yeah, I don't know how successfully they connect those dots.
Goodish, I'll say.
Yeah, goodish.
I would say pretty bad, but
pretty bad if you're a commie. Okay, I'm not.
We had to go there. I don't know.
Those kids knew what they signed up for.
People protesting me.
Do you condemn Hassan Piker?
Okay, so that's first scene, and it's pretty enigmatic. And you're right. The 12 years later kind of title credit really does like, no, that's what could have happened. It does. The fact that it's this long at a time, it adds to an eerie kind of nature, because like you just get the pit in your stomach. But then we're introduced to our main characters. David Anders as Bert, the guy from Heroes.
Adam from Heroes.
The greatest samurai I've ever the greatest samurai of all time. He was the samurai. I love Heroes so much. The first season.
Yeah.
And then we have I think Candice McClure as Vicky. As we mentioned, from
Battlestar Galactica.
Galactica, which great show, and she was also very underused in that.
She kind of just became like relegated, like, oh, she made doe eyes at that one kid who works for the president.
Fucking gets murdered, assassinated.
Yeah.
Oh, I still remember his name, Billy Kamiya. He was a white guy too.
Billy was the character's name. Yeah,
Billy Kamiya.
Yeah.
So, like, what the fuck is that last name, man? Like, what?
It's like a Firefly future where everything's kind of Asian.
You mean like Cloud Atlas?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Everyone's. You know what? Still a good movie.
Yeah,
Great movie. Yeah, I'll stand by it.
Okay, so she's been in a couple of stuff since then. She was in Flash, the TV show.
Okay.
So. She's on a
Prestige
Netflix.
TV.
She's on a Netflix soap opera that's run for a couple of years now. So it's nice.
There was
Anyway,
a Charmed reboot. She was in. I'm saying that like as I'm learning. I'm like, wait, they did another Charmed.
they did her Charm, and everyone was worse and annoying. I watched I watched 2 seasons of that show, and it was awful. And I liked the actual Charm.
What we're finding out is that she was gainfully employed.
Yeah,
Was she employed in good stuff? Maybe not, but she was employed.
It's
and that's
work.
what matters.
It's work,
Yeah.
Anyway, back to other work she's done. 2009's Children of the Corn. She plays Shrew's wife, who says a lot of slurs.
Insane that they gave her this dialogue.
I feel like that's why they cast an interracial couple.
Yeah, so they're like, well, this sounds horrible if it's coming from a white woman, right? Like, so we gotta.
But see, she can play the it balances out. It's a diaspora, etc.
Yeah.
Imagine if they got Linda Hamilton back.
Just have them back, but they're old.
Yeah,
They're both-
she's old. He's still the same actor.
You know what? I respect it.
Yeah.
It's a hot way to live.
More age gaps like that.
All right, so they're driving along there, and they're having a horrible time because their marriage is on the rocks. And in the short story, immediately we learned that they talked about getting a divorce. So they haven't sold anything yet. So, but
like they're on their way to get it now, right?
Exactly, they're on their
Yeah.
way to like get that thing signed, or everything set into order, legal stuff, and it's fine. It's nice. They deserve to get divorced because I think if they ran into no children, they would have stabbed each other. He has a fucking gun in the trunk, and they're on a stretch of road with nothing nothing but corn for hundreds of miles. He was gonna shoot her.
Oh yeah,
He was gonna kill her.
it's like a terrible vibe, like I'm surprised that they got in a car with each other in the first place for like a road trip, right? Like it does not seem like there's any spark there, and I truly wish that there was at least some point in the film that was carved out to like showing us why they were even in a relationship to begin with, but instead
what?
it's so one note about why they suck with each other.
You know what you're describing the House of Haunted Hill remake. Where they have Jeffrey Rush and Dan, what's her name? Famke Janssen.
Owen Wilson.
Famke Janssen. House on Haunted Hill. House on, not the haunting, but where like there's a part where before the ghosts unleash everything, they've just gone to a big fight where they're literally trying to kill each other to death. And it's like they just give up and like, what are we even doing at this point? Like there's almost a little bit touching moment between a little bit of a touching kind of reprieve, and there's none of that in this movie. They're about to get fucking killed. They're seeing all these dead bodies and everything, and at no point does it bring them even inches closer together. Like he hears her like at the end before she dies. He hears her like calling her horn and screaming like,
I was gonna say
like this bitch is trying to. Jesus Christ, man, leave me alone for a second. I'm learning how many people got murdered here.
It doesn't even feel like, like when she dies, jumping around, but like when she dies, it doesn't even feel like that he's going into revenge mode necessarily of like, oh, my wife that I loved, you killed her. It's more just like, that's his excuse.
He's like the Punisher.
I was just like, this is like Frank Castle. If Frank Castle went to Gatlin.
I thought it was strange because like we introduced to this couple, right? We're introduced to this couple, and like she is so against the idea of him being a veteran, and like in the Vietnam War, right? And another reason why I think this movie is pro Vietnam War is because of this framing. But it's like she is so critical of his time there, but at the same time she's with him, right? And I'm like, why? Like, you have such a big issue with this, you should divorce him, right? Like that would be the right move, right? Like for everybody's happiness here. You disagreed with that, he went away, right? Whatever, right? I know there's a conscription, like that, he was drafted to war, right? But at the same time, the way that it's delivered in the film, it feels as though like she's mad at him for no reason, the way that's delivered. And it's like, that shouldn't be the case. Like she does have a legitimate reason to be upset with him.
It just makes her a nag where you're just like, well, come on, woman, cut him a break.
Like it doesn't feel genuine. Like it just feels like she's like they're arguing and she's specifically arguing just to kind of get at him, get his goat. It feels hypocritical. It feels disingenuous, and it doesn't. Like it makes her come off worse than he does. And at one point, he does like kind of punch her in the face to get her to shut up. So
and they just breeze right past it. They never talk about it again, right? It's shocking.
Like this movie is like, you know what? Like this movie is kind of misogynistic as fuck.
A little bit, yeah.
Also kind of racist because she's black and he's a white man in the 70s. And
we've already talked about the slurs.
Oh, yeah, I mean racist against black people.
Yeah, not just Vietnamese. Like
exactly.
we're lumping some other folks in here.
Even opportunity, I guess, in the way this film handles.
But is that? But if they had, I don't even know if that's truly unintentional because one, it's the 70s. They could have kept the contemporary, but they didn't. They put it in the 70s. And two, like it's a Bible Belt. It's very religious, and he's a white guy with like a really closely shaved head. Are they trying to imply that he's like a fucking racist too?
Because she has the line about like, oh, your NRA buddies, like you're gonna brag to them about your kill or something. So, but that again, that just keeps raising the questions of like, why are you with him? Like, what like show me something, like even if it's just like a glance where it's like there was love here once.
Like it wasn't before the war. Did the war change him?
Right, like they were dating and then he got drafted and then he came back different.
Yeah, right. He came back racist and abusive.
What if it's just like the classic like military wife thing and she just like fell in love with somebody else? Even then that's something. Know? Like that's more than what they give, right? Like at no point do we understand why they're together, nor should we understand why they should continue driving down this road, right? And that's really the main flaw you can say about this couple, not just in how they're delivered, but like in how they're written. That's worse than the main couple that's in the first film. But what's strange is that structurally it makes more sense for us to be stuck with them rather than cutting back and forth. So it's this weird dichotomy where it's like, I don't like these people, the way they're delivered. It should have been structured in a different way, but I prefer this over cutting to like kids playing Monopoly and then a knife gets thrown into it,
That is better.
Because it is like, because you're stuck with these people like for an extended period of time when they're bickering, like it's insane amount of bickering, and then the kid just pops into the frame, they hit him, and he just fucking crushed. And that's such a great moment. It's a less of a great moment if you follow that kid for 5 extended minutes as he goes over his plan and talks to other kids and then runs and then gets killed by Malachi and Malachi pushes him into the street. We don't need any of that. It's very enigmatic. It's shocking. It has impact. And it kind of breaks up. Like I don't know, maybe they're so flat. It kind of has even more impact because they're so flat. Because like you're like, is this what this movie is going to be about? And then boom, no. it's shocking. I think it really does work. It has weight to it that it doesn't really have in the original. Even though we spend more time ostensibly with the little kid, so we should probably care more about him. We know who he was, but honestly, I can't remember his name. Johnny.
Yeah, maybe. There should have been relative peace between, even if they're on the outs. Like maybe they're kind of keeping their cool until they hit the kid. Like make the catalyst for like all this, like hate that they've been holding in, like kind of start spilling out.
Because like everything that she's saying is not wrong, right? Like that is manslaughter. She is so justifiably upset with the things that she was saying before that I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that she would be responding this way. Maybe I don't like, the fact that she's just like yelling at him all the time and she's, like not really thinking about the fact that she's, going to share space with him for like extended period of time the way that she does. But it doesn't justify the fact that he like gets out of the car and slaps her, like that is one of those things where it's like the rest of the movie is trying to show us that Bert knows what he's doing, like, he's in survival mode, he's got to beat up a bunch of kids. He's got to kill them. He has to, he has to kill these kids to survive. But at the same time,
putting a lot of we're putting an audio footprint out here that I want to make sure that it's not misconstrued.
Nobody take that out of context. He's got to kill him. And I advocate for it too. Like it's what you're gonna, but at the same time,
go ahead.
It's a situation where he is framed that way throughout the rest of the film, and then you have something like that happens so upfront. It's like it's one of those situations where it's like it justifies the way that his character ends up, but it doesn't justify us wanting to follow him as our protagonist.
Yes, exactly. Again, how much of this is intentional? Are we meant to hate Bert? I think we are, but to what extent? And to what contrast to the corn cult's own perceptions? Are we meant to say like, well, they have a point in an ironic twist of fate because these people, well, Bert specifically, are huge sinners, or what? Like, where is the irony level going to here?
Like the ending kind of frames it of like, yeah, that is what he deserves or whatever. But then that also does feel weird because like a horrible fate befalls Vicky too. So I'm like, well, she didn't really do anything other than be married to this asshole.
She gets a worse fate than him.
Yeah,
like, way worse. Like it's almost like needlessly cruel the way that they dispatch her so early and to give him nothing. Right. And it's kind of the same thing I was saying in the first movie, right? Where it's like, there's not like you kill everybody up front and then you don't have a body count. Right. And the same problem is true here where it's like, okay, now the body count has to be the kids, but it's like that happens all at once and then it doesn't happen again. It's like this movie has a real pacing issue when it comes to like, how do we dole out these things? There should have been more people. Again, it's why, having a group of teens going into the cornfield made a lot of sense for us when we were going into like a setup for one of the other sequels, right? Because at least it means that there's more bodies that are going to be killed and it'll make more sense structurally. But because like the way that she's dispatched so cruelly, so earlier on, it's like, it makes the rest of it drag on for much longer than it should.
It's 100%. I think at that point, the movie should have wrapped up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, instead that's like halfway. Oh, it's almost like
it's like 60. It's like 60% of the way through.
Right, it's like 50 minutes, let's say, and then he I don't know how long does that fucking corn chase have?
I'll check it right now. Check it out right now. So, let's see here.
So, I think it's like 2/3 of the way into the movie.
So he gets into the corn. You're right at 60 minutes, right? And the chase, that we see that the active chase lasts for 14.
Way too long.
But then he's alone in the corn until the end of the movie, which is another 9 minutes. So about 23 minutes in the corn for him. It's fucking insane. That's too much.
Stupid.
Yeah, so much.
I guess like before we jump too far ahead, we should talk about like the way that the kids are represented in this film, because like we do get a bit of politicking here. But it's a lot more consolidated. You don't get like the power struggle in this film. But I do have to say
They
that
kind of nerf Malachi a little bit because he's not like scheming for his own angle. Or I mean, it's not like an explicit power struggle between them.
He's not so much, questioning the authority of Isaac, but he's still selfish in specific ways, which is interesting.
He'll just act out in certain ways of like, I want to kill this person, I'm making an executive decision.
But I do want it on the books, right? Like, while we did have a lot of great things to say about, like, the kid in the cold open and how he was preaching, this Isaac sucks. He's horrible.
He's a wet blanket. I no offense to Preston Bailey or whatever, but yeah, this is a dud.
He's just a kid who cannot, and there's no. And it's easy to say that because a lot of kids can't, but maybe just get the other kid like a fucking haircut and have him be Isaac, put a mustache on him. Who knows?
They should have had the littler kid that has like the vision, who they said will be the next prophet. That kid has more aura than Isaac. Like make him Isaac.
Just say Isaac's a little kid this time. It's fine.
There's something about the idea of like making a less polished, speaker, or somebody who seems younger, the main villain, right? Making that something that's creepy, I could see where they were going there. But at the same time, Isaac delivers all of his lines like, a kid who's bad at reading, like somebody who's like, and then the car went up the hill, it's delivery like that. It's really bad. And I don't mean to dog on a child actor too much, but at the same time, like, we're watching Children of the Corn. I'm going to complain about the children. And one more thing I will say is that across the board, I feel as though all of the kids are like a year or two younger than who they should be, and I think that makes it funnier in like, these people are just kind of not rightly cast, at the same time, it's a TV movie, like none of these people are going to be professional actors. They're all going to suck is the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think that was one of the producers' overcorrections, like that he wanted, like, actually, he's like, no, this is kids. We need children of the corn. So, like, it's like, I feel like maybe that's why everyone's like a little too young, or it's like, well, you could have, it's okay if Isaac's a little older because you need that authority.
Yeah. Or, just get baby-faced teens.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, a very, very seamless day for dusk out in a lot of these scenes. They pumped up the orange a whole lot. They want to get these kids. They want these kids on the fucking field as much as possible. So I respect it.
As much as labor laws would permit.
Yeah, it's nice. I tweet about it too. Like, it's been a long time since we had like a big ensemble kid cast in one of these. Long time. So yeah. I did like how at one point when Bert runs into the cornfield and the kid's like, stop short, right? One of the kids doesn't stop short, and you can hear someone off screen going, whoa. Like someone off screen, like a cast of criminals, like whoa, like they grab him back, like it was nice. It was a nice little flub, and I found that adorable. And, like,
I don't want to sound insensitive, right? But Malachi's posse, right?
Yeah,
he's got like a couple of like tubby kids on his crew, right?
Yes.
And I'm just like, how great is it that they overcame the drought, and now you've got like kids who could just, like look like Dick Tracy henchmen, and they're threatening, when they're beating up the cars and stuff. Like, I'm not saying anything to, body shame or whatever, but at the same time,
but like if this was
fun.
A video game, those are the heavier like enemy type, like you have your basic grunts, and then like these are like a couple hours in when you introduce, like they're not bosses, but they take you got to spend more ammo into these guys.
And they're kind of running shit too. I was kind of a fan of it. I was like, this is funny. I like it.
Yeah, no, I think that all the kids are at least enigmatic. in a sense, other than Isaac. Isaac sucks.
Well,
Yeah,
he can throw knives. He's got
Yes,
bullseye
I
powers.
I'll let share. It's like let my if if your will says it, then let my aim be true. And just fucking throws it, and it gets him. So
like I really love that part, but I also do love the part where he pulls a Joaquin Phoenix from Gladiator.
Thumbs
and he goes
down.
to
I
thumbs
just
him
keep.
down.
I'm replaying that right now. It's so because he goes thumbs up first, and then it's like
Yep.
boom down.
And then bonus point, like I just really love the fact that the hat is way too big for him. Like the poster is not an exaggeration. Like that's the way it fits on his head, and there's a reason why he doesn't wear it for most of his appearance.
it's pretty huge, yeah. So anyway, they put the kid's body in the trunk just like it needs to be, and it will stay there forever again. That's the one thing that both movies get right is that they plop that
That kid will never. They'll never find justice for this kid.
no, he'll be in the trunk forever. And so Bert goes into the cornfield. I do like Malachi kind of stalking him a little bit. It's great.
Before we move on too quick, I did really like the gore effect and the sound effect of when they pull the kid from the pavement. Did you guys see like all of like the goop that they put on the kids? And,
Yes.
like, the sound was like a peel.
It's
didn't really
gnarly.
look like a peel, yeah, but it sold it. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Not continue,
exactly.
sorry.
All right. So anyway, Bert and Vicky, they get the kids' luggage and they go onto their car and start fucking bickering for another 10 fucking minutes.
That's what I mean. Like, if this was the start of them fighting, that would maybe work better. So then, like, you can give us the initial, like, chunk of
as
the
the
car.
as the tension of the situation sets in,
Right.
their nerves start getting frayed. See, that makes. See, I understand trying to be faithful, but also, there's nothing for me to like glom on to these characters.
I got to spend time with these people, so like give me something.
This really does feel like a TV movie in the sense where it's like I could go into the other room, I could start making some dinner, like maybe I start like putting on some beef on the stove top, right? And I come back into the room and like this, by the time I had left and came back, nothing had really happened, right? So I can like still like watch what's going on.
Oh, they're still fighting? Okay.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like Stephen King TV adaptations always have this kind of vibe to them, and like I've kind of grown to accept it, but at the same time, it is annoying when you're experiencing it.
100%. And so I do like that they go to the gas station and during all these scenes, like the kids are always about on like the sidelines. It's so dumb. And we see all these they're missing all this shit. They're missing skeletons and it's ridiculous.
I love it when there's the skeleton in the storefront.
I
right?
love that one. Yeah.
And like the audio, like they pipe in the sound of a woman screaming as if like you didn't understand what you were looking at.
Oh, that's a body. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's not a mannequin.
All right. So then again, they have extensive arguments, and Vicky does sort of her big backstory thing is that she came from a religious household, and she has an aversion to religion because of that.
Religious trauma.
Religious trauma, you're right. Which is, I feel like it's nice, and it could have been built up more if, let's say, Bart died sooner, and Vicky was the one kind of secondary one. That would have been something that would have been a bit more of like a thing where we can spend more time for a solo rather than just kind of offing her immediately.
We'll also like analyze that for a second too, right? Where it's like you have a character, because ultimately the movie's going to be pro Vietnam War anyways, right? So like let's get that out of the way, right?
Yes.
But like you have the idea where it's like she's criticizing what this guy had to do to survive, and then he dies, and then she has to do something terrible to survive, which is like beat up a bunch of kids, like
just like she accused him of doing, yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm not necessarily like a fan of the message, right?
But it's more sense. It's a more compelling arc instead of seeing guy who's already killed kids have to kill kids again.
Yeah, and then also have like a power fantasy about how cool it is. Yeah, we'll get into it when we get there, but it's really gross.
It is. It's insane. This movie's fucking insane. How did they get away with this? Anyway, so then we after that we go We do. I think they pulled this card too quickly, because after this we transition to Isaac and the kids, and we kind of get the gist of their whole deal. You know, we see that they've killed a cop guy, and they're basically like, we're gonna kill these people. You know,
Yeah,
and
the
I feel like
blue man.
the blue man, and I don't know. I don't think we needed this. I think that we get enough of the fact that we see the kids around. I still think that while this is placed better, it's a third into the film, more or less. You could have held off on it. You know, you could have held off on it more.
Like a great kitchen, right? Reduce, right? Like we already like the fact that there aren't as much of the kids, right? Get rid of more of them, right? In the sense that we don't need to have them on screen all the time. Have them be like the menacing force that, like, when it's revealed itself, it's like, oh my god, there's like a mountain of kids after us, right? Like that's the scary part, right? Instead, like every time you cut back to them like arguing about the scripture, it's like that's not the stuff that scares me, you know?
Exactly. It's really lame, I gotta say. And again, it's not helped by the fact that this scene is really just this big showcase for Isaac, as he gives like a 5-minute fucking speech, and he's not good. He's not good in it.
And then I went to the park, and then I saw a dog, and then I felt happy. You know, like that's the energy he's bringing to Isaac. And
Like,
like,
you
I'm
want Malachi to be a little more you know, like
Abrasive,
planning to take over for himself, because you're like, why would he be taking his cues from this runt? Like, come on, Malachi.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It like, who would follow this kid? He's not enigmatic in the least. I mean, that's a shame. That's the shame.
And what's strange about that is, like, I don't think it's necessarily because of what's written. I do think that if they had a better actor, then that would have been sold, because I don't think that the kid who's playing Malachi is pulling in a bad performance. I think that he's doing fine with the material.
No.
It really is this one kid who's playing Isaac that's bringing all of this stuff down. And it's kind of almost like unavoidable, you know, like you're hiring about a bunch of kid actors, you're going to have some that suck, right? And it just so happened that they rolled the dice, and like the lead of their film sucks.
Right, because even though that's the one you like need to get right.
I wonder like if they ran out of time, like we gotta shoot now or else the budget's gonna explode and sci-fi is gonna fucking not even gonna want to do this anymore.
They did a nationwide casting call. They tried to find the perfect Isaac, and they just ran out of time.
And so like the parents got to the part like, and then Isaac officiates an orgy, and they're like, no.
I mean, that's a valid reason for a lot of parents to maybe, you know, be, I don't want my child in this.
Exactly. So Isaac's actor probably comes from a family of freaks, then, you know, but so do we all. anyway, so that's a nice scene, but we don't need it, because when they get into Gatlin, we still see, and it's very effective, like they're constantly being surveilled by the kids, and it's creepy. You see all these kids around, you know, they don't catch him, and sometimes they're more obvious, sometimes they're in the forefront, sometimes they're like on the sidelines. It's really it's well paced out, it's well done, you know. And
the first film tried to do this, and it really failed at doing so. And again, it feels like somebody coming back and trying to redo those things in better ways. This is where I'm feeling that the most.
Exactly, because like the last one, like they're exploring, but we already know what the game is. You know, we know what all the kids are. We know that they're looking for them, but they're not really successful. So like, it's not tension, because we know that Isaac's like, well, when we find them, we'll find them. But no, the kids already know where they are. The kids have eyes on them all the entire fucking time. It's crazy, you know? And it just adds more kind of like a dangerousness to it. And I really appreciate that. Anyway, they're arguing more and more and more, and that's their dialogue.
Have them tell some jokes.
Exactly.
You know?
They suck the life out of this movie.
Yeah, there's no other notes that they play. It's just caustic and hate, and it gets really old pretty quickly.
I would have preferred it if, like, you know, they were trying to like get to the bottom of something, you know, like if they were like trying to, like, maybe they have these differences, but then like because of the scenario, they are forced into, you know, trying to survive together, right? Like, again, there are so many different ways in which you can create an interesting dynamic from this scenario. And for whatever reason, they just decided to like play at one note. And it's really disappointing because, again, the structure is there for it to be more interesting than the first film, but it's just not, delivering in the places it needed to.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. While I did say that they kind of played their hand too early with the Isaac thing, I do love the scene of Malachi and his like workshop and like they're building the crucifix and everything. It's something that's very clear what they're going to use it for. We already seen the Blue Man's crucified corpse, but it's building some sort of tension. Like it's just enough. It's not Isaac going and then we must sacrifice them, but no, it's if you got rid of that scene, it would add a little more tension to the fact that they're making a big X thing, And I don't know what the Isaac scene adds. I feel like really you could cut that out and nothing would change in the film. We know they're going to kill him.
But if you cut it out, maybe it wouldn't have been feature length.
That's true.
But what I will say about this scene is that I just from like a campy perspective, I did really enjoy seeing children hold power tools.
Yes.
Yeah, that is fun.
And what I do love here is that when Bert and Vicky they stop at the broken stoplight, which Vicky calls them out for, and that's like probably the funniest thing that she does, is that when they go to the wide shot, there's a corpse on a roof that there's no way they could possibly see, but it's a corpse on a roof, and it seems like he's wearing he has like an army fatigue blanket, and he has like there's like what the fuck was going on there, and how did he get to the roof? Did he live? Did they drag him up there? Was he staked out there and died of starvation? Who knows? It's great. It's a great little set piecing.
Yeah, it's a fun bit.
Good detail.
There's like ideas, oh my god, like lore building all of a sudden, like this is
environmental storytelling.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Like that. Like we're in a desert right now, guys. Right. Like we watched the last two movies were horrendous for sure, right? Like it's a situation where it's like this is so much more than I'm used to in terms of like what we could get from these things. That the fact that it's doing this, where I'm like, okay, I can give it some credit there. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So let's see here. Anyway, we get to Vicky's death because Bert is like, I don't trust you to not leave me alone. So I'm going to leave you alone in a car that can't start while I go investigate the church.
Insane.
And don't get out. If you get out, you're awful. Like, oh my god, like it's just
like
so,
it gives her no agency too, because like she could just be doing her own investigation thing instead of just being like, no, I'm just gonna wait in the car like a dog.
Exactly.
With the windows rolled up, and then like we already kind of touched on it earlier, but I'll bring it up again. Like the fact that like she's in the car, like he told her to wait in the car. She honks the horn because she is very reasonably concerned for her life. Yeah. And then he hears it and goes, yeah, I'm gonna just like,
she's wasting my time.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Now, classic Vicky.
She's always pulling shit like this.
Classic. Yeah. It's so like if we're like, again, the movie is telling us that we should be on this guy's side in the sense that like we're following his story. He's vindicated in the sense of survival. So the fact that he just like leaves her there, it's like it doesn't get played with the amount of significance that it should be played with. And a better filmmaker could have sold that, but like instead it feels callous and undignified, especially like when we cut back and it's like she's being swarmed, the car's being hit, and it's like I like the action here, but it's like I don't think that she should be the one who's being killed this way. It should be the other way around.
100%.
She does get a kill though, so that's cool.
But I gotta say, the entire church sequence kind of outclasses the original, like beat for beat. We get all the same stuff. We even get Green Jesus back. Green Corn Jesus makes a return as a mural. And it's great. I think that while the other one we had like that whole sequence like, oh, he finds the kids preparing for like the sacrifice of one of the 19-year-olds, Ruth and Amos, famously of Jacob's return, Isaac's return, fame. but no, I like that it's all empty, and he's kind of reading along the Bible, and he's seeing all this stuff. It's very subdued. It's very subtle stuff, and especially when he reads the name of books, and it's like you see like all these kids that have already fucking killed themselves, and they're all 19, all 19. You'll have 2 names, all very nicely done. He gets to the list of kids who have just been born, and they only have 1 name. They only have biblical names, and the first ones are Adam and Eve. It's like this is so uneasy. I love it. I love it a lot. It's like, sheesh. My hairs on it.
I'm glad that they don't give me any more. Like that's I'm already disturbed, and I don't need to know any more details about what they're alluding to here.
So Doug, this is like in the moment in the evening where you go back in and you check in on your casserole or your lasagna, right?
Yeah,
you're not in the room for this, right? You don't know what's about to happen.
And then you hear,
yeah, you come back in and you're like, what the fuck?
Did my computer accidentally swap to something else? Like, what the hell?
This is like fucking sensual shit, man. Anyway, so Vicky gets cornered by Malachi, and the funniest thing in the world fucking happens is that when Malachi steps out, like a Latin guitar version of the Children of Corn theme starts playing, like like what the fuck?
Like a fucking Western film.
Exactly.
Like they're about to shoot or something. Yeah.
It's and like I gotta say, with the fact that Malachi is all in black, and with the fact that the car explodes and he's walking away from it, were they trying to reference Desperado?
Yep.
It kind of looks like that shot. He does a Cool Guys Don't Look at explosions, and like it's like framed. I mean, we even have like the similar like orange. I don't know. This could be Desperado.
Exactly.
Of course it is. Right? Like we're talking about a producer who like is essentially like gestating some kind of idea of how to do Children of the Corn again. They watched Desperado 10 years ago, and they're like, that's a cool movie. And then subconsciously they're like, oh, what's a cool moment to put in my movie? Oh,
I want to see Robert Rodriguez's Children of the Corn.
I don't. I've seen his bad movies. Some of his worst movies are worse than this one. I will say that.
Yeah, We Are Heroes are just terrible, man.
What's that one with Ben Affleck and William Fichtner that came out?
Okay, that one's so stupid that it's kind of circles. It's pretty funny. The fucking I can't remember what it's called. They have
it was called like Hypnotic. That was it.
Yeah,
Hypnotic. You're right.
Yeah.
That movie is horrible. One of the worst I've ever seen.
I don't know. Anyway, I've never seen it in my life. I never will because it looks like so cheap as shit.
Why are you lying?
Look cheap as fuck, man.
Oh, it's cheap, but it's just I don't know. It's dumb fun. It's like what if all mutants had Inception powers, so you could keep doing twists of like, oh, they were fucking with his mind. None of that was real.
Oh, so like Smile 2, everyone's hearing a horror movie.
Listen, it's just no Adjustment Bureau, right? If it was just half of an Adjustment Bureau, then I'd be on board, but it's not. So that's where my
not enough hats,
not enough neoliberalism.
All right. So let's see here.
I just saw Isaac do his bullseye knife throw again.
All right, so
best part of the movie.
All right, so Malachi and his gang they basically they surround Vicky, and Vicky tries to get, as we mentioned, Bert's attention. Bert's like, fuck her. I'm too busy doing my Silent Hill experience points shit at this point. And so
all the puzzle box.
Yeah. And I do like that Malachi is like, you know what, time to make peace with God every time. Like, it's good character touch. Like, yeah, we're gonna kill you, but try to pray a little bit before.
I mean, it was a shocking subversion because I did expect that they were just gonna follow the formula of like, okay, they're gonna kidnap her to sacrifice her, and like
Outlander, we have your girl, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna fucking murk her here in the car and then blow it up.
Um,
And we've already talked about, her busting out the shotgun, right? But like she gets a legal kill, like she's able to like, fend for
on
herself.
the
but then,
littlest boy, like
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ludicrous what happens. And like we've joked about, like violence, in these scenarios because like this is the framework they presented with us, right? Like we didn't have to watch a horror movie where these are the villains, right? But this is what they've decided, and they have never found a way to make it so it's like when they are dispatched, it's like threatening. It's always funny, and I feel like they need to find a way where it's like not a mob of people coming after it the way that it is. I don't know. I may be rambling a bit too much.
No, I
agree.
get what you're saying because, like, I don't know if the answer is just to make the children themselves like more demonic or monstrous or something. Because otherwise it's just absurd and also like kind of just like gross.
Awful.
That you're just seeing these children get murdered.
Yeah,
You
but they
can't
deserved
enjoy
it.
these movies earnestly. Sorry, go ahead.
They deserved it.
It was an act of self-defense. Again,
They should,
like
they,
legal
they should,
kill.
they should have allowed for free on open commerce. Whatever the fuck we were in that war for. I don't know what the fuck we were in that war for.
Well, you see, like because the first film was about Kulimani, like his regime, right? This film's actually about the Strait of Hormuz, right?
Yeah, this film's about Iraq as fuck.
Sorry, go ahead.
This movie's about Iraq,
Oh, for sure. If we're talking about like at the time, like this is all about George W. Bush's administration.
And how we had to go there, right?
There.
That's what this movie says. Like we had to get him.
Well, actually, like the way that this film handles the Vietnam War is not too dissimilar to how people handled like veterans from the Iraq War, right? Where it's like, oh, they went over there and they did what they had to do, right? And it's like, well, what were they over there for? Oh, well, they were protecting the interests of like oil companies, right? And you're like, wait a second. That's not a reason to be in war with someone. That sounds like you're doing colonial efforts, like it's one of those situations, right? So it's like, I guess from that perspective, it could have worked in that way, but you know what I mean?
I 100% agree.
Okay, but if some kids pull knives and axes on you, what are you supposed to do?
You pull a Resident Evil like 9, you do like a roundhouse kick,
Yeah,
then
hell
you can,
yeah.
like, pull out your green herb so then you can get yourself from like caution to fine, right? And then you start kicking ass.
Hell yeah.
All right, so the kids all jump him and they start doing like Isaac's like kill him, and he throws the knife and hits Bert because the Lord wills it, so Bert obviously has to die. But then they do the funniest thing, and I wanted to say this: they do the funniest thing. They do the let's attack him one at a time, kung fu karate style thing with Bert. Like there's like 30 of them, 40 of them, and they just go one at a time. And this guy has to show these millennial woke chuds who's boss. The two he's leftist millennial kids.
You're gonna go. You pansies are gonna go to the Korea. No. What was it? The Gulf War. You guys are gonna grow up to go to the Gulf War or whatever, right? Like I'm gonna show you how it was done in the Vietnam War. It's kind of the vibe of this scenario.
You just fucking, I think this is the biggest check. I don't know how the rest of the movies are gonna go, but this is the biggest check to like Bert, to kicking kids' asses because he breaks one's arms and then he kills two of them outright. It's fucking amazing.
And on that note of like the old school like karate martial arts film, like they do the thing where it's like like kids are like holding other kids back or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just
like,
one at a time.
Reason. Yeah, exactly.
One at a time. It's so fucking ridiculous. Anyway, none of them attack him, and he's like, you're stuck here with me." Like, Bert, you're talking to these 12-year-olds. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, you better get a flamethrower or whatever he says to him.
Yeah, like, and then he just fucking cracks a kid's neck. Like, what the fuck? Bert, what are you doing?
There is a kernel of an idea. There's a kernel of an idea where it's like maybe he like his Vietnam War guilt causes him to like crack. or now he's totally lost it. If the film was more effective, because like we do get a bit of that when we get to the cornfield that he's stuck in for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Where it's
Right.
like that's what they're trying to do, but I don't think that it's entirely successful
Because he's this caustic and like aggressive from the very fucking beginning.
Yeah, so it's not really a break. It's just more just like an elaboration of like, okay, yeah, and then he can also do this level of violence. We already saw him hit his wife, so yeah, what's some fucking kids? Like that's nothing.
Well, was that a bad thing? I don't know, because the movie never fucking brings it up again.
Yeah, I love the fact that like when he does get, because we've talked about the fact that like Isaac gets that clean 360 no scope, right? And I love when like he gets hit by it and he's like, that ain't shit. And
he breaks the knife. He pulls out. He's like, you think that's a knife?
Yeah, there's a knife.
100%. All right. Anyway,
let's cover the Crocodile Dundee movies next.
I heard that 3 still holds up. The guy Patrick Starr told me so.
I heard that the first movie is so transphobic that they had to like the Australian Film Board had to like put out like some kind of like thing on that goes on the DVDs where it's like this is
like apologize. But sorry.
But what's his face? The guy who plays Crocodile, they actually made an edit that cuts out.
That's it. You're right.
He made his own edit for that, so good on him. But a lot of fans like this guy is woke now. He's been mind broken by the virus.
They made Crocodile Dundee woke. Fuck.
That's not a knife. That's a drag show.
But yeah, that's kind of like the main version that's available now, and some of the hardcore fans don't like. You're like, yeah, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. It's Crocodile Dundee. What? I want to see him fight a crocodile, whatever the fuck he does.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see him hold knives. Just different knives.
We're gonna rate these knives one after another.
Yeah, it's like some kind of like boring YouTube video where it's like, "Hey guys, and welcome back to Sharpmaster 67, and today I'm gonna give you my reviews of my 10 favorite knives." And then he's got them like laid out on like a towel, and then he talks about like, well, this one's got a good handle, but like I'm not so sure about the hilt. So we'll get to some of my favorite ones later on. But like I've gone so deep on this bit. I'll move on.
I'm just reviewing Bert's one-liners to these kids. He says, "Why don't you put that in your god and smoke it?"
Love it. Big fan.
They should just leave. Like he basically is just like just make him Duke Nuke. But he kills kids. I don't know. That's what this franchise should have just been, like an action franchise with like Arnold style one-liners, but after punching kids.
I'd be fine with Isaac having the one-liners, honestly. Like he's doing it all in the service of the Lord.
Well, not this Isaac. He can't pull those off, but like a real Isaac.
Mm-hmm. Think like a woke, act like an Isaac.
I just agree. Holy shit. But yeah, okay. So he gets into the cornfield, and everyone's like, "We can't go in there because it's forbidden." It's where he walks in. But then I was like, "Okay, a couple of you guys can go. The rest of us, we have more important shit to do." And let's see here. So they follow him in, and we get this great shot. There were so many ripoffs of the what's it called? The Planet of the Apes Jurassic Park 2 shot.
Oh, like from the overhead of the corn.
Yeah. Everything. Oh, that's great because like it really does reduce these kids to like they're animalistic. Like he's prey to them at this point. It's really great stuff. And then it becomes fucking house.
I'm so glad you said this.
Go ahead.
I was feeling this all that's what this is, right? And I'm so glad that you brought it up, Elvis, because like Doug, have you seen House? Like, do you know like what happens in that movie?
Yes. Yeah.
So like this whole thing just becomes like this idea of not so much like their own guilt, but like what has happened to them in Vietnam in this vague way that had happened in that time period. But it feels so out of step in 2009. This feels old fashioned in ways that even the 84 movie wasn't old fashioned. Like, what do you guys think about the way this is implemented?
Oh yeah, I really
It feels out of place.
Yeah,
It feels so out of place. I'm interested in this in Bert. I think Bert is an interesting character, but for what it's worth. But like it's at this point, I'm like I thought I was trying to despite Vicky's costliness and her one-noteness being very misogynistic, I thought the movie was trying to make a point about Vietnam, and then suddenly it tries to make two different points simultaneously. Because one, obviously, it's very much implying that Burt committed horrific war crimes in Vietnam, and two, like he's slowly losing a grip on sanity, so that might be seen as a bad thing. But three, as well, there's a lot of things going on at this point. He has to kill these kids to survive, and so he does so in horrifically graphic ways, including one that's like a 3-year-old. It's insane. And he's like crying about it, but also he did do it. So what is the message here?
And it's kind of, I don't like, does the movie want us to feel conflicted about him doing these murders? Because it kind of is just being like, yeah, fuck yeah, man, like get him.
Well, it's framed as like a survival scenario, right? Which is fair, like, oh, okay, so you're in this horrible scenario where you have to fucking kill a bunch of kids to survive. Like, that's the whole reason that you rented this movie, right? If this was still in the straight to DVD era, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the issue here is that like we spend so much time in the one note again, right? And it's just a different note. From what we had gotten from like the first 60% of the film. And it's not like the note that we're hearing now is any better than the one that we were getting before. And like, I in theory, I like the, like bullets whizzing by him, where it's like becoming literally, Vietnam.
He's seeing the soldiers in the corn.
Yeah. Like, again, bringing up the house comparisons, right? But like, if this film was more critical of the Vietnam War itself, then this would be a more interesting way of telling that story. But as it is in the film, it feels toothless. It feels inauthentic.
Man, he's really killing these kids.
Yeah, he really is.
I was just rewatching these kids.
He's going around. It becomes like one of those Get Out, they will kill you, ready or not movies. All of a sudden,
but it gets like tiny children.
Like the 3-year-old is the most egregious thing because he ripped like that kid's throat out like with his hands, Roadhouse style. We don't see it. We hear a crunch and then we go back and it's like that kid's throat is like gone and he didn't bite it. He just must have like just because of that Roadhouse thing that Patrick Swayze does.
MacGruber throat rip.
Exactly.
I always wonder if those were the days that were the most fun for those actors, right? Where it's like, now you're gonna die, and they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be fun,"
Because he kids in a makeup chair,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they had a great time. But when it comes to like us watching it again, it's like it was what I was saying before. All these kids are like a little too young. So like when it is doing these things, it doesn't feel cathartic, right? Like the moment that they're in the alley, right? The fact that they're, taking their turns fighting him, right? We always get the impression that he's somehow stronger than them. It takes a force that's larger than the kids to take him out ultimately, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, there's nothing about this that actually gives us any tension. It's supposed to be a power fantasy, which is weird. And I don't like watching it. I do like watching it from a campy perspective, but from trying to like, sincerely be on this guy's wavelength, I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because what's the challenge is just him living with the guilt, I guess. It's not like, they're children, so he can physically overpower. I mean, like he is wounded, whatever, from the knife, but that doesn't seem to really slow him down.
Oh, really? It really doesn't. And again, it does feel at this point really much like The Punisher. If The Punisher was in this kind of film, and you know what? How old is David Anders? Because we gotta get someone to replace John Bernthal. I'm through with that guy.
Garth Ennis's Children of the Corn. Max.
But yeah, he's crying. So like, is it a bad thing? I don't know. The movie doesn't pick a lane. The movie does not pick a lane.
It's trying to have its cake and eat it too, right? Because he's like, oh, he's so fucked up from having done this, but like Tony said, it's a power fantasy still.
100%. Like it's ridiculous. But anyway, so we get to the part of the movie that everyone loves.
Epstein's favorite part? Is that what we're talking about?
We got that on mic, right? Like, we just want to save that for the files.
All right. So, why
are we juxtaposing that with this, right? That, like, because it's like we were just in the cornfield seeing these kids get massacred, and now we're just going to be like, yeah, I know what you guys want to see right now.
it's something.
Jesus.
It's a juxtaposition,
Birth and life, or death and rebirth. I don't fucking know.
See, that's it. We were actually being unfair to the film. Like, it's actually deeper than we were giving it credit for.
Something's deeper, all right. Anyway,
why? It's just, and like we said, the kids are too young, and so that makes this part so much worse because it's like they're watching. So,
yeah. It's trying to be creepy, but then it becomes creepy in a metatextual sense at a certain
because
point,
I'm watching them watch this, so I'm like, well, I'm complicit now.
It makes you wonder why Children of the Corn exists, and like going back to something that you were saying before, Elvis, about it being alluded to, where it's like just like in a moment, right? It's like gross, don't like hearing about it, but if you leave it there, like whatever, I'll leave it, but the fact that you decide to make this like a set piece in the film, weird, gross, I don't like it. I would have done without it,
it feels lurid
this late into the movie too, because like what purpose is it serving here other than spelling out what the cult's deal is? But this isn't like necessary information we need going into like the finale.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like it feels lurid. It feels provocative. Like it feels like the most like, oh, this is gonna be on TV. It's gonna be on cable. Let's do something that's gonna be like risque at this point, because other than the kids getting killed, all right, there's nothing in here that I would say would be more than like a soft PG-13. I feel like they were worried about getting cred.
Even the kid kills themselves. Like, yeah, it is children, but they're not like that. Like even the throat rip thing, we don't see. We just see the aftermath of it. Like the most graphic stuff is we see just like the remains of the thing, like the kid who's splattered on the pavement, or like the throat rip, but we don't actually like see the most graphic kills.
Right, exactly. So I feel like this was just their way of trying to sort of get that sort of push them over the edge a bit. It feels self-conscious, is what I'm saying.
It definitely pushed over the edge. It's the reaction shots are where it's really just
and it's like just the sound as well. It's like it feels pornographic.
Yeah,
and not like in a way of like, oh, see how weird this is. Again, it feels like oh, like how sexy can we make this? Anyway, Bert's dying of like thirst and hunger, and he's going insane. And
let him
let
him starve, let him die. Like there's no reason for us to like him, and there's no reason for us to follow these kids either. Like we're just kind of stuck in this position where we're like, oh, okay, now we're at the whims of whatever is left here, and it's like I can laugh at it in a corny sense, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't.
It really does drag me down. Yeah.
This is where it fully has fallen off the rails, because, like we said, there was promise in terms of like the structure of what it was doing,
the
but
build up, the tension, those things are all very competent. You know,
it's just like, what does it leave us with here? Like, we have an unlikable protagonist who's like losing it in the corn, and then we also don't give a shit about the kids, and then even I mean, I guess I do like the thunderous footsteps of he who walks behind the rose, but like it doesn't really deliver on that front. Not that, I'm a believer in you don't always have to show the monster, but for this franchise, we're 8 movies in, and I'm like, yeah, you better fucking show me a corn monster. Like, come on.
I agree. Like, and it's. I feel like they should have taken the budget from the really awkward sex scene and just given it to getting a monster there.
Yeah, because we hear it approaching. It's like building the anticipation of like, oh man, I want to see this thing.
100%. Anyway, but some squiggle is in the clouds is fine. And
yeah,
Vicky,
what is this, Galactus from Ultimate Galactus in the cloud?
All right, so Vicky has died a horrific death.
Go ahead.
And so he sees the monster, the clouds roar, he dies. Is there anything else that needs to be said about this at all? Because
I kind of do like the beat of her. It almost feels a little. I feel like from the very beginning, was been traces of like Evil Dead in this franchise's DNA. But Vicky's corpse being like, "Come on, it's not so bad." Like that kind of that does almost feel like a Deadeye bit.
It does. I completely agree. You're on the money there, 100%.
It also feels like a Stephen King film. It also feels, like, oh, this is the tragic irony of his outcome, right? So it's like, in that sense, it all plays well. It would have made more sense if I cared more about these characters, ultimately.
Oh, completely. Because it does. Like, I think that this was so close to getting it completely right. Just write Bird and Vicky more compellingly. You give them so much dialogue. It's not like they're quiet characters. They talk 90% of the movie.
It's basically a play between them, like most of the movie.
100%. And like, so they were spoiled for time with these characters, honestly. And you just write them just way more compellingly to make all of this more tragic. But it's not. Like, at this point, thank God she's dead. Thank God he's dead. And hopefully these kids die soon.
But ultimately, the kids are victorious, like, which is the strange thing. Like the sad part of the film is supposed to be like, you failed, so now the age in which you can live to be is now reduced by 1 year. And it's like, I get what they're trying to do, where it's like, oh no, like how sad it is that they've lost that privilege because they failed. And like, we're supposed to see that through the irony of their existence, right? Kind of like a knock at the cabin kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that the film has actually earned our kind of sympathy for these people. Like, at this point, they were so sidelined to where trying to have us, and then also add to that, like the fact that we had that sex scene. It's like, I don't want to think about this. Like it's just not the part of this film that I was most intrigued by.
No, it that itself also just drags this down, because like it makes it feel like, again, it makes it feel like a different kind of movie. Like it makes it feel like this is kind of a downgrade, degrading to what this movie is mostly trying to be. Even if it doesn't work 100% correctly, it just feels like you could have this. You're worth more than this film.
It turns into a shittier, trashier thing than
exactly
what
trashy.
What it was attempting to be, and because then I lose all investment in any kind of resolution where it's like, I already didn't like Bird and Vicky, and now I fully don't give a shit about this weird child sex cult because you showed me that. So like, yeah, what the fuck am I left with? I mean, the kid who plays Malachi, it does a decent job. Like if it better context, like he had a better Isaac to play off of. It just, because of it's in the context of all these other deflations at the end, that it does also just feel like an anticlimax of him being like, oh, I guess I gotta die now. I'm good with that. Like while his wife looks sad or something, but like that of like, come on, Malachi, stand up.
100%. But yeah, so Bert dies, and yeah, it's until the last scene. So Isaac is like, well, the God is doing this for us, and also, I don't know, man. Like, was it Isaac's plan to have his replacement get murdered by Bert? Because like clearly, it's like Malachi was like, maybe you'll be the one to replace Isaac when he becomes too old, but that kid is dead now.
Throat ripped out. Yeah.
So what's going on with that? Maybe that's a little hint. Maybe that's a little hint that maybe this cult is doomed, because maybe when Isaac becomes of age, there won't be someone to lead the cult. Who knows? Maybe they're thinking ahead into the future. Anyway, so this is how the short story ends too. Malachi, pledges to kill himself in the corn, and he goes off to do so. And his wife, I think we should. I don't know what the fuck is like. Very sad about it. I did wish that they would give her the final moment, because in the short story, she has an inner monologue a little bit about how much she wants to like burn the corn down, even though she knows it wouldn't do anything because the corn can't be destroyed or something. I wish that they gave her like that kind of imagining it, but otherwise it's a fine ending.
I mean, yeah, I wish we didn't just because of we have such a weak Isaac giving him the final line where he's just like Scarecrow.
Yeah, it feels like such a little wiener, Scarecrow.
Yeah, it makes it comical. It's just like it kind of just throws the whole ending, like this last chunk, just reframes the whole thing of like why did we do it like this?
Mm-hmm.
Like you were so close.
And the whole thing with like Malachi's like bride, I guess you'd say, like at the end of the film, like you were saying, it's a situation where they had some kind of character. If they were more than just that set piece, then maybe I would feel something here, in the sense of where that is kind of sad and tragic and all of the things they are trying to say with this, but it just doesn't work. So like, yeah, I don't know. The movie really ends on a weird note, and it's strange that a TV movie has a post-credit sequence.
Well, there was. I didn't get that far.
I turned off as soon as we went to the credit. I mean, after that Bible verse, and I
thought that was it. What happens? Okay, so okay. Oh, so they went deeper into it.
I like this remix of the main theme though.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So this they did. So it really does. It does do that thing where she's like, I wish I could just burn. She doesn't say it, but I wish I could burn this thing to the ground. Right. Let's see here. Oh, and she does imagine it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So why put this after the scene? Just put this into the main ending. Okay, because it really. So
that was a better ending.
Yeah,
so,
don't give Isaac the last fucking word. Okay.
Yeah, but Iron Man came out a year prior, and like that was pretty cool, right? So like they had this year.
Samuel Jackson's in the post credits.
Yeah, he's in the cornfield, and he's like, I'm putting together a team.
I do love that the Amos, our main man Amos, is back again too in this post credit scene. He's back. He doesn't die this time. Justice for Amos. Amos goes into corn too. No, Amos, no. He dies in every universe. Anyway,
no matter what universe, we find my way back to him, or whatever that statement is.
Yeah,
this is a way better final moment, and mostly because this actress playing Ruth is like she's decent.
She's putting in the fucking work, So yeah, no, I enjoy it. So it actually bumps my rating up a little bit, because I like it. It's a stronger landing. It's a stronger landing.
Just strange that they put it at the end of the film, like after the credits.
After the credits, and then the fact that it takes us all the bullshit
credits.
The credits, and then just like the bullshit of the last 20 minutes, where I'm like, could we have gotten to this moment like in a cleaner way? Like that would have been
like wrap it up, man.
Like from Vicky dying, like, come on, let's like 10 minutes most.
I agree. Like, so I'm wondering how many people missed that, because who's fucking sticking around the entire time?
Only the real fan. I mean, I guess I'm a fake fan. I didn't stick around. I was just like,
You didn't give the cast and crew their due. How dare you?
I looked at the list on IMDb. I saw who worked on it.
All right. So, anyway, this was a lot of fun. But
I mean, there's more here, like compared to This Is Water in the Desert, like of like the last two movies barely had, like Isaac returned and that barely felt like anything, like I felt nothing at Isaac returning. At least in this, I mean, Isaac sucks in this, but like at least there's there's stuff to chew on and talk about here.
Oh, I agree, man.
We've called this movie many things. We've called it racist. We've called it misogynistic. But one thing that we didn't say was that it was like, a chore to watch, right? It was certainly, boring at points, right? But it was always funny. It was always, off kilter. And like, this would do well in a midnight screening scenario, more so than the first film. Like, I feel like the first film really drags so much, and this one at least has things to laugh at, even if it's not with.
Yeah, like while it's boring at points, the parts that aren't boring are like outrageous.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's the perfect balance is what you're looking for.
I'm totally into it. Again, I feel like if you just re-edit this a little bit, and now that I have the bug, I might. I just get rid of the graphic sex scene. Bert dies earlier. Maybe cut around some dialogue. Get rid of the Isaac scene where he's in the corner saying, "We gotta kill people." We already know. We know they're gonna kill him. We know. So why we have this big long scene where Isaac explains their plan to kill them? It makes no sense to me to have that.
Yeah, if you trim this down to like maybe like 70-ish minutes, like yeah, you might have something there.
Yeah, I feel like this also kind of speaks to the fact that the short story, it has some juice. This has some juice. Like the entire concept is creepy and eerie and sometimes very kind of despicable, especially in the sex stuff. But like that's where like this kind of menace and horrific stuff, kind of dwells from. I think that going back to that original well was a good idea. I think that a lot of the stuff that we've seen so far is kind of just stripping that away, stripping it further and further. And so we get with aimless, nonsensical, meandering mess like Revelations.
Well, I think that like what this movie gets so close to doing is commenting upon power structures, right? Because
Right.
like what this one is trying to get to is like, oh, well, both members of this couple were fools to try to think that there was any logical way out of this, but then it ultimately plays into the idea where it's like, well, this religious structure has to exist somehow. And it's like, no, we should have had more of a questioning at the end. If we're going to have this whole conversation be about like, oh, why do we do the things that we do? And it's all in a morally gray area, like where this film is trying to go. I just don't think that making one side of this the definitive like right path in quotations is the smart way to go. Does it make sense?
No,
yeah, exactly.
100%. You're right. It feels both lackluster, but also very unfocused and confusing.
And it is confusing because it almost seems like including that final roof scene is like, oh, are you just doing that just because that's in the story? But like thematically, that gets to more to what you're saying, Tony, of like a questioning of this. And it's like they almost didn't understand the value of a scene like that because it's like they're hiding it. It's like they almost don't want you to see it.
Yeah, it's like why would you do that, right? And like there's no real logical reason for that.
I know, other than it's cool. It's cool to have a post-credit scene.
I mean, they're just really trusting. That's confidence in you.
They're expecting people to be like making their lasagna in the next room, and they hear the credits are over, and they're like, "Wait a second!" and they run into their living room to check out.
Well, like my favorite thing is that this is a fucking TV movie, so
yeah.
So like by the time it hit the credits would have been like a small little fucking bubble.
And they're showing me a preview for something else on Sci-Fi Channel or something. New episodes of Eureka.
Let's do Eureka. Eureka's fun. Let's do Eureka next. Let's do all Eureka.
All of it. How many seasons are there?
Like 5.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're also assuming the possibility that like people didn't change the channel already. You know, like the credits come up and you're like, okay, well,
Miss Warehouse 13. How dare you?
Watching reruns of Terminator, the TV series.
Hey, that's good. Let's do that. Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Maybe I'll give it up. Maybe I'll go with an open mind because I've watched like this guy is so boring as John Connor, and I never watched it again.
I mean, is it a hot take to say like there's almost? Hey, Terminator 2, great movie, but I don't know. Are there any good John Connor performances? You know,
Nick Stahl, don't be insulting to me.
I like the guy in the first movie. I think the first movie is still the best of the Terminator movies, and I like the John Carpenter. I almost called him John Carpenter. John Connor in that film.
Well, because he's just like an icon. He's not like a character in that, like that. Because that's the idea of John Connor is more interesting than if like let's spend time with this person as a guy. I do feel like the show kind of tries to get at that a little bit, but in the sense of like it's like, well, he would be a real teenager, and teenagers are annoying. So.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, so I think we kind of broached it. We didn't really get in touch with it, but I don't think there's any need to because we kind of explained it. The situation, the producer, the original, was the producer and creator behind this one. So I was gonna say, like, wonder why it took them this long to get the rights back. And has that guy just held on to those rights out of spite for the theme song?
Yeah, that's what it was. He's like, I gotta bring it back. I gotta make money back on the music royalties.
Like but seriously, how guarded that was? Because it's like, whoa, man, this, and you can really I think that helps it a lot because like that feels Children of the Corn. Like that theme is iconic. It really is. It should have been every movie. Every movie would have been improved by having that theme because it really does set the tone. It's like the Halloween theme. I think it's that good.
Yeah, it is. It's weird that was never a priority before in terms of getting it. I mean, I guess they just couldn't. But it's like, yeah, wow, you really do need it. And
again, I wonder if he like guarded it. It's mine. It's mine, only mine. No one else gets to fucking have this.
I can even do remixes of it. Little dubstep remix in the credits.
I'll have a Western version. Don't worry, I'll have a Western version. Like the thing that we're kind of looking for. It's the reason why we have bingo, right? Like the thing about this franchise is there's barely any narrative cohesion that's keeping this a franchise, right? There's nothing about this that we're watching and there's like, oh, these are the narrative threads that can bind these films. So the fact that we have some kind of like legacy, some kind of like there's something being carried over. That's the thing that we're glomming onto in that sense, right? So I totally get it. You know, like this is one of those things that you would put in quotations as iconic about the franchise. Something that did original. And the fact that it wasn't in any of the other movies is a reason why those other movies aren't as good, honestly.
100%. I really couldn't get into those at all in the way I got into this one. And especially like, I do like that it feels like a better, more considered version of the original, you know, because it kind of almost brings me back to watching the original and that nostalgia, like, dude, this is probably good. And then like, okay, so maybe I wasn't totally crazy to think that was good as a kid, the first one. But you know,
there's something here. It's just the other stuff that's there distracts from it. Is mostly like the stuff in the last 20 minutes.
Oh man, I agree. All right, so any other thoughts on this?
Not really. Personally, I feel like we exhausted this, but I did enjoy this in the sense where it's like, you know, if you were going to watch a Children of the Corn movie, I'd probably say start here.
Yeah.
Yeah, start here and then you can do the other sequels, but like this kind of just supplants, like, unless you just want the novelty of you're like Linda Hamilton was in a Children of the Corn, like what's that? I guess like yeah, you can see that, but I don't know what I'm getting more from that one. Well, there was lightning effects in that one, so I guess there's that, but otherwise, yeah, this one surpasses it.
100%. I'm not. I don't. If you're gonna see, like, I want to see this franchise, this story visually as an adaptation, then yeah, there's no really unless like the next three are so freaking amazing, you know, that I don't see what the point is.
That would be surprising.
That would be.
I'm excited for Genesis, guys. You know,
Genesis.
I feel like that's a book in the Bible, so like, you know, it's getting back to the roots.
It's surprising that there's not, because we have Revelation, but the other ones are just kind of more generic of like Gathering, Final Sacrifice. I'm like, there's a lot of books in the Bible. You could, you know,
you could use you could use any of those.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
even the less popular one, even if one was like Leviticus, then I'd be.
You beat me to the punch.
Like you'd be scared. You'd be like, what are they going to get into in this one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's Children of the Corn, Job.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Oh shit. All right. So, yeah, no. I guess you want to do last thoughts.
Like maybe we should like in terms of like, you know, we're let's reflect a little bit in terms of like the franchise of Children of the Corn, and then also like Stephen King. And I want to get to Stephen King for a second, right?
Go ahead.
Like so this movie came out in 2009, right? And like, did you guys think about like what kind of Stephen King adaptations were coming out around this time?
No.
When did 1408 come out?
Yeah, great answer. So like 1408 and The Mist were like 2007, I want to say.
Oh,
right.
We're at the height of adaptations.
Well, you would say that, right? But like if you were to look back at like what else was done with Stephen King adaptations in the 2000s, it was a really rough decade, I should say. Like Dreamcatcher is like a really notable example, right? Where it's like that was a massive flop. Lawrence Kasdan directed it, right? Like ultimately what I'm trying to get at here is like this is the period in which people wanted Stephen King the least in terms of like his relevancy, and I just wanted to point that out in terms of like how this guy was able to get this passion project across. And the other thing is like, you know, if we're talking about
the Stephen King brand was so tarnished at this point. I was just because I just remembered I used to watch the Dead Zone TV show, and I'm looking at posters of it. It doesn't even say Stephen King's The Dead Zone. It just says Dead Zone.
Yeah, it's the fucking Dead Zone show. You know, it's on fucking Sci-Fi. You know, like I fucking watch it. The franchise is so much at the point where it's removed from, you know, whatever was you know, made it original or scary, and now we're actually at the point where it's like cashing in whenever it's relevant, and this was the rare example when somebody stepped outside of that.
Yeah.
All right. No, I completely agree, and yeah, it's I'm glad it got made, you know, because this is fucking insane. It's an insane movie.
So someone had to tell this story.
Yeah. And you know,
someone dared to believe what it would be like to compare corn in Nebraska to the rice paddy fields in Vietnam.
Right, he's doing his army crawls. He comes up across the kid and just snaps their neck right in front of the camera. It's really crazy. Oh my god, it ain't me, man. All right, so let me pull shit up here. How
did I do on the bingo?
Oh, let's do the bingo lot plus. Okay, so here we go. Cornfield, yes. Corn-based kills.
The corn grabs Bert at one point, but it doesn't kill him. We don't actually see his death. It's just the cloud descends upon him, and then
well, like there is corn put into their eyes. That might have killed him. So we're gonna give this one a yes. Okay, we're gonna give that one a yes because we don't know how they got killed, but corn was involved. Farm-based kills, no, not really.
No.
Brunette little boy who speaks weird, yes, we had two.
Yeah.
We had David and an Isaac. Okay, prophetic drawings, no,
There
none
was
this.
the kid. The kid had a vision, but there was no drawing.
Yeah, The Shining. Well, the kid had
Yeah, he had a
A
dream.
momentary, like a glimpse.
yeah. Okay, beating up kids, yes.
Oh boy!
Gigantic yes. He walked on the roads, yes.
If you're buying a movie ticket because you want to watch somebody beat up kids, like this is your movie. Like, like this
You
is the
finally
one.
get your money's worth.
Bad possession VFX, not really. No.
No.
Religion, yes. Climax in the cornfield, yes. Carl
Yeah.
chanting, yes. That's back. Killing adults, yes. Pregnancy cliffhanger, not really, because she's already pregnant. It's not like surprise pregnancy, you know.
The camera should have hit it, and then you pan down. You're like, "What?"
Oh my God, Malachi's legacy. Okay, so no, not really then. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. So pretty good overall. And so, Doug, why don't you tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, you follow me here at the Doug Files on Twitter. Also, me and Tony host a movie TV podcast. These guys got juice. We had wrapped up our coverage of season 2 of the Pit last month, and then we're gonna have some stuff coming out shortly. Coming up soon.
All right, awesome. And Tony, why don't you tell us where we can find you?
That's me at poor old Rolo Tony. And as Doug was saying, you can find me on These Guys Got Juice, where I co-host on that podcast, and it's wonderful every time. And we got some great episodes that are going to be coming up very soon. And when it comes to other stuff, you can find me 2 Cent Critic, I believe. I'm going to be very soon. There's going to be an episode on James Spader's erotic thriller Dream Lover coming very soon, so take a look for that. And then also, I believe the Seeing Faces in Movies episode about Fritz Lang will be coming up very soon. So check those out. Yeah.
Phenomenal, man. All right. So let's see here. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me again for Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn 2009. We have 3 more to go. 3 more. We're in a month's spitting distance away from this. Does that sound insane?
I've got an important question before we even go further, right? Because I'm surprised that we got to this point. We haven't asked this question, because it's a personal question, right? How do you guys like your corn prepared?
It's spoiled, man. Steamed.
Ooh, you like it boiled?
I like a elote. Put it in a cup. Put some shit in it, some cheese. That's good.
Ooh, there you go. That's an idea. I'm basic. I like it on the barbecue. Throw it on there with the husk.
That's pretty good.
That's decent. I think I don't like mine burnt though. It's risk of burns.
I kind of do.
I like the burnt taste is kind of good. Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. I need 100% of the corn. 100%.
You gotta get the pure watery texture, right?
Exactly.
You gotta get it close to
just a little bit of a crunch. Just a little bit, but not burn crunch. No.
But loads of salt and loads of butter, right?
Oh, so much butter. Yeah.
Oh no, it tastes good by itself. I just like the sweet corn.
Yeah, it does, but I just add more.
What I like to do is I like to take a big wad of butter, right? And I like to put it on the plate, and I take the corn and I just rub it in the butter. The butter is such a large portion that you're able to coat it. That's
what I'm talking about.
100%. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening, and see you next time for what's it? Children of Corn Genesis. Yes, the Last Dimension movie.
Oh no! Wow, the Weinstein's holding on for dear life.
2011, right after this one, under Dimension Extreme. It's quality.
Dimension Extreme.
Remember
Is that the same label that put out like Death Race sequels?
Yes, and
I'm
like
not sure.
like Feast 2 and 3. It was their direct video label.
Oh geez. Oh geez, Louise. Well, I guess it'll be a great time capsule in that sense.
Can't wait.
All right. See you guys next time. All right. We are out.
Boy.